No one's going to put a label on me like I'm going to accept the label and move about. I'm going to address the situation because it always comes with some sort of behavior that's actionable. Harassment, threats, co-conspiring to receive and pass around information that was stolen from the Social Security Administration. That's exactly what happened. There was no white dude giving shit. That information was already obtained. But now there's somebody who seriously has it out for Laquan Fisher, Rage Pigs. And like I said, I have every bit of confidence he knows who it is. So the Money Long Wallace YouTube page suddenly disappeared. But this is not the end of it. I'm not the one involved. Somebody else is involved who Rage Pigs let in on the scene. What he was doing before he decided he was going to bring his criminal behavior into these YouTube streets. He wants to continue doing what he's doing. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm never going to accept any code. No code will ever be accepted. Code of silence my ass. I'm going to continue to identify ways to report Laquan Fisher. As long as he harasses me, I don't give a damn if he doesn't put my name on it. Oh, here's another thing he's doing. You notice how he makes the comments about old and dementia and all these things? That is formulating intent. He intends to target me based on his perception, his insistence that I'm old, I'm an old person, where old people are protected by a unique set of laws. So this is a whole nother approach that I can take. He's saying I have mental health issues. So he's finding a way to target me based on the perception that I have mental health issues. So here are two more avenues of intervention because he's formed the intent. This is his intention, to harass. And I will make sure it is well known that there is a probationer in these YouTube streets who was poorly managed and poorly supervised. And nobody wants to hear about that, especially what we have going on these days. Now, Carrie Ann, with her silly ass, is up here complaining and whining and crying about Rage Pig, saying he's rapey, he's harassing her, he's targeting her. However, Carrie Ann doesn't have the guts to do anything about it. What Carrie Ann likes to do is target innocent black men and claim they committed crimes they never perpetrated. That's Carrie Ann's preference. That's the contortion that they share together. They're more than willing, they're more than ready to force any type of situation on other people as long as it's nefarious, as long as it's illegal, as long as it's harassing, as long as it's libelous and slanderous. They'll go all day long with that. But when it comes down to taking the situation to the authorities who can do something about it, they don't want anything to do with that. Who cares? That's their position. That's not my position. I will find a way to intervene. Nobody's going to tell me, especially Rage Pigs, who's on probation, someone who has to have a court order him to stay in the county or stay in the city or stay in the state, stay in the country. You can't leave unless we give you permission. We give you a curfew. We tell you whether or not you can smoke and drink, and he's ignoring that as well. Marijuana, weed, is illegal in Georgia, and he's up here smoking and admitting it online. This person, this Wallace person, has it out for Rage Pigs, and you wouldn't even be surprised, would you, to learn there is a reason? How could you be surprised? Look at the record that we've seen. Look at the criminal record. First felonies at 19. Now he's in his mid to late 40s, calling everybody else old. Oh, he's the only one who's traveling back with age. Everybody else is advancing. But let me tell you about those who are hyper-focused on everyone else's age. That's only a representation of how much they lament what they pissed away with respect to their own life. What would they be doing at the age of those that they claim to be targeting for attack based on their age? You think that Rage Pigs would like to turn the clock back? Go ahead, turn it back. You don't think Rage Pigs would like to go back and make it so he didn't get caught or he wasn't perpetrating the crimes that he perpetrated? Go back, people, to 19 first adult felonies. You don't think that he was involved in the justice system as a juvenile? Have a clue he didn't graduate from high school. He was into something. Nothing good. Nothing good comes out of it. How are you not graduating? You're not graduating because you're into all kinds of shit you shouldn't be into. This is what he decided to do. He pissed his life away and wants everybody else to suffer the consequences. I'm not suffering a single consequence based on what Rage Pigs pissed away for himself. Those were decisions that he made. And check it out. He doesn't have anything to say to Antonio Johnson, DJ Jackass, DJ Drama, who actually went digging around in his criminal history, misusing the system in Georgia, the record system, perpetrating a felony to go after Rage Pigs and look in his records. Nothing to say about that. Nope. He wants to target other people who he feels took something from him, breaking the culture and Stargate, because he wasn't able to succeed in his determination to control others with his drug-fueled, his alcohol-fueled rants and rages, like we're going to accept that shit. Yeah, taking down the content, I see. Big and bad and taking down content, snatching down content. He's worried about something. I think this Wallace, Miss Long, Wallace is onto something, whether there's a link or not. The person that is doing it, I'm confident, I'll put money on it, it's the same person who has the Laquan Fisher page. But in order to deal with that, he wants to see what he can do to transfer that anger, that angst, that worry, that what is next feeling onto who? Onto anyone else. He'll come up with anything he'll come up with, but he won't deal with the situation at hand, knowing good and damn well someone that he knows has got a hold of the situation that he's involved with online is going to keep letting everyone know. Bring it on. We're waiting. Somebody knows, and they're determined to put the information out there. We haven't heard the last of it. And I'll tell you another thing you haven't heard the last of. Me making reports. If Rage Pigs, Laquan Fisher, wants to continue to get on his channel and make the statements that he's been making about me. It doesn't matter that you don't say my name. He's already made the same statements with my name in identifying the county where I'm residing. Next time, it'll be a 50-pound block on the gas pedal. I'm going to put the pedal to the metal and I'm going to pursue. The media will be very interested to know the probation department is doing a poor job of supervising probationers, given the fact that they're online engaging in criminal behavior, and quite possibly the intervention has thus far been insufficient. Now, let me explain when I say quite possibly. I will have to reserve confirmed judgment on that until I take a look at the court records, which I haven't had a chance to access at this point. But we do know there has been intervention because I spoke to probation administrators, and this is how that case was sent up to the district attorney's office. So there has been movement. And corresponding to that, he shut the hell up talking about me. He shut the hell up harassing me. He shut the hell up about showing these pictures with knives and bellies. He stopped. He thinks he can resume by not mentioning my name. Bullshit. He said the exact same thing about me before when I reported his ass. So whether probation has been effective, resoundingly effective, that remains to be seen. We know that probation hasn't been completely effective because now he's running around harassing other people. In fairness to probation, however, they are not his mother, father. He's supposed to be a grown-ass male. In fairness to probation, you got to say, what do they know? Are they aware of the situation of what he's been doing, running around these YouTube streets, harassing someone who claims to have mental illness? On this end, Carrie Ann is not being harassed. We're simply responding to the shit that she said about us. We're not putting up people in straight jackets and putting them in institutions with walkers and saying it's bipolar Monday. That shit is harassment. Just because someone has mental health issues doesn't mean you have to be silent on what they say. But that shit is harassment. What he was doing with the walker and the padded room and all that stuff. But Carrie Ann can go ahead and let Rage Pigs do whatever she wants. That's her. But let's not forget that she's jumping right on the JOB when it comes to reporting black men for crimes they never committed or crimes that never occurred. But what has changed? He still thinks he can come on here in these YouTube streets and harass people. Carrie Ann is a dumbass. She can go ahead and ignore the shit if she wants to. I'm not ignoring anything when it comes to this dude. Targeting people who essentially had nothing to do with whatever bullshit he was involved with. He's too chicken to go after the person who actually targeted him. Or I should say people. Whoever's putting this information out, he knows who it is. He's not doing shit about it. DJ Jackass, Antonio Johnson, dug all into his criminal background using a state system, a protected system, illegally accessed that information. And what is he doing about it? Nothing. He wants to try to force sexual orientation labels on other people and pretend that heterosexual men are having sex with fold up body and dick pics in the phone. And no, we haven't forgotten about the lie that he told and the plan he devised to get Breaking the Culture of Silence drunk so he can take advantage of her, which is rape, by the way, in case anybody has any questions. So we have to sit up here and listen to a rape fantasy of somebody who's pissed off because he couldn't control the people he wanted to control. People, come on. This is an attempt to transpose whatever angst, anger, and frustration he has with himself onto others, actually going and making up shit. You know, that's harassment. He can get in serious trouble for what he's doing. It's piling up. When this is brought to the attention of the probation department, let's see what they're going to do about it. Because the behavior is harassment. It's sexual harassment. To constantly make up stories about people's sexual orientation and claim they're having sex with men or having sex and, oh, I'm going to get you drunk and I'm going to have sex with you. You know, that's called rape. All of these themes about forcing people, placing people in situations that he thinks he can humiliate them and harass them and target them and slander them, and they have no avenue of recourse. Yes, they have an avenue of recourse. This is someone who needs a court to tell him what to do, and he's coming online thinking he can bully and harass people. Well, that's bullshit. I'm not going to stand for it, and I know several other people who aren't going to go for it. But let him go ahead and continue to try to force whatever he thinks he can force on other people. He's going to learn the hard way, or don't learn the hard way. We've seen in the past, 20 plus years, he hasn't learned shit. Still on probation or back on probation in his mid to late 40s, calling everybody else old while his life is the one that's passed him by. We aren't the ones over here that can't go through life unless we're drunk or drugged out. And then guarantee you, anybody smoking weed in Georgia has some shit laced up in it. I don't care what anybody thinks about weed. It's a crime in the state of Georgia. Can't get through unless he's dousing himself, fermenting his internal organs with alcohol and running around and saying that. I'm all effed up. I've been drinking and smoking all day. He's not saying he's drinking and smoking cigarettes all day. We know what he's doing. And he wants to try to put it on everybody else. I'm not going to accept it. I'm not Carrie Ann. Carrie Ann can cry and whine all day long. I don't give a crap. When it comes to me, I will be doing something about it, as will others who are affected by what Rage Pigs is doing. Meanwhile, he's ignoring those who are actually committing crimes against him. Antonio Johnson committed crimes against him. Not going to do anything about that. I am not going to bear the brunt of any of that bullshit. I will take action accordingly. Best believe I will keep you all updated. In the meantime, buyer beware.